think this for me is like the third, fourth time I'm sitting listening to them. The matter around is national interests. The question I've always asked, and I think I better ask it today for the final time, is that, so are there international standards that inform the formation of national values worldwide? If there are, and we have them here, what is it that has been done to leave us where we are? Because at 2 or 3, it means it was a wild guess after everything else had been taken care of. So kindly.
Thank you so much. The third question.
First of all, allow me to just honor our panelists and say thank you so much. My name is Mariam Abdallah from Kisumu County. I work with an organization known as TEAM. I'm also a budget facilitator. I think today I have realized why I have been having this question about debts and the pending bills, but today you are finally answering me with the conversation on national interests. So my question is, what really constitutes the national interest? And while we are talking about that, how do we then link this up with the article on Article 10 of the Constitution on National Values and Principles? Because I know that is also very critical as a pillar that we stand on as values for this nation. Then lastly, what would you recommend? Because we've been paying a lot of debts. That's the honest truth. We've been saying the way we are aligning the Sustainable Development Goals to the Vision 2030, to the East Africa Agenda 2063. But the truth is we are not realizing anything at the end of the day. That's the truth through our county integrated development plans, where we have never prioritized debt. But again, when you look at devolution, right now we are simply prioritizing debts. What would be your advice? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Someone has whispered in my ear that the wild card can be from our community who are getting sign language interpretation. So Catherine, you could ask them, they can ask a question. So there'll be the fifth question shortly.
Okay, with sincere appreciation, it's my first time sitting in such a discussion and I'm very curious. My name is Jane, and the previous speaker has touched a little bit on what I wanted to ask. And this is, when I look at the core interests as they are stated, I can link all of the values. I see it as a sort of an overarching. And so I'm curious as to the inclusion, in this case, exclusion, although unless I'm wrong, the exclusion of it, or rather, where does it stand in all this? Because I feel as though Article 10 would underpin every other thing, obviously, together with the other opening provisions of the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jean, Catherine, you'll interpret for us the question. He'll introduce himself and then the question. Or herself. Go ahead.
My name is Aska, and I am Dev from FEDWIN, that is the Federation of Women. So what I would like to say is, most of the time, we are silenced. And the problem, we as Kenyans, we have become tribe slavery. And it's very clear, you can see it. Most of the time you find that even those who are in government, they are siding with their tribes. So anytime we want to talk about something, you'll find that it is tribe. For example, when you hear about the goons, it's all about tribes. And that is a huge mistake. My name is Vincent Owino. from the National Association of the Deaf. And my question is, we have our responsibilities. I know most of the time we used to have opposition, and there was an interest in opposition. And it is, for example, when they take loans, but youth are not involved anywhere. So what are we going to do about it?
Very fantastic questions coming from the floor. I leave it to you, Boaz, to allocate between yourself, Ambassador, and Mr. Awori, who will answer. The first question was by Japheth Ojijo. Is Article 43 of the Constitution part of national interest?
Thank you. How many, I hope you've received this booklet. Yes, Ojijo, I like the way you picked this quickly, because it means you went through what the discussion was and how it is. Indeed, when you put out Article 43, those socio-economic rights, if you remember, I mentioned them, almost all of them, isn't it? Health, water, education, social security, housing, I mentioned them, isn't it? They constitute core part of our national interest. They constitute core part of our national interest. And the fact that you've anchored it on Article 19, the lawyers who are here, but you can also open it up, that directive principle of Article 19, that whenever we legislate, whenever we formulate policies touching on economics, social, all other issues of this country, it must be aligned to Chapter 4. That's what you meant, isn't it? Part of our national interest. So it is not outside of what we are emphasizing as national interest. The reason why we are forthcoming with it, we are bringing it to the fore, is because when it comes to resource allocation, you realize that many times they are ignored. In as much as the Constitution is particular that you must first think national interest as number one. I hope you are understanding that. So that is the reason why we are saying that. For your information, you go to that Article 203, which directly indicates what should go to C. Actually, not even Part B. Part B, you'll find the CS, Treasury, and the Deputy, and the President, they are somewhere holding consultation being facilitated by IMF and World Bank on how to deal with the debt. But you'll find that a leader will tell you, I promised Kenyans, this is my manifesto and all that. So that, the manifesto of any political party and all those things come third, fourth, going downwards, not priority number one. I'm not restating what is not there. It is the fact within the Constitution. Is that clear in a way? And yeah, so I hope you understand why we then need to continue with the conversation to distill and leave no uncertainty in the minds of anyone that when we speak of our national interests, these are the non-negotiables that must be there. And I think maybe, yeah, my brother here will deal with it, but then Ndugu Wachoka would also help you summarize, because I think somebody asked about what are they in specific terms, isn't it? Thank you.
Yeah, I will also just make it a general, because I'm going to respond to two of them. I think you asked whether there are internationally agreed standards of setting national interests. Is that my understanding? Yes. It's agreed internationally that every nation state decides their national interest. No other state decides the national interest of another state. That's agreed. So agreed such a state can say this national interest we have decided are permanent and non-negotiable. It's clear. So nobody decides and defines. That's why I'm asking the GNC. Since we did not in Bomas, because I was there, we were supposed to define the national interest at Bomas at Article 203A. We failed to define it because we were overwhelmed by the IMF and the World Bank, who wanted item number 1 to be public debt. So basically, we didn't define. But we put our interests in chapter 40, in Article 43. Now, I can tell you now, because I was there, the World Bank says, and everybody, those articles which you put in 43, we will never recognize them as national interests of the Republic of Kenya because they are not. What your interest should be is pay the debt first. So that debate is still going on. Finally, I think you asked about the confusion between the national values and the national interests. And that's a debate I want us to have. We've been having that debate with them, with Dr. Mushai and Oliver, I don't know where they are. National values are tools you use to protect national interests. There's no contradiction. There's no contradiction. Those are the instruments you equip yourself to protect your national interests. Because the national interests are solid. They are solid. For example, if your national interests, one of them is that you will not allow a violation of your territorial integrity of your state. In other words, the boundary between, I don't know,
Kenya and Uganda.
Now, you don't need national values. Values are what you give your children education to be strong enough to protect Migingo. So don't confuse Migingo protection and the values you have embedded in your military strong to protect Migingo. Those are two things. So don't confuse the values you are embedding on your children and your military to protect your national interests. I hope I'm clear, and I hope that when we begin debating this with Uraia, because we are asking Uraia to partner with us to debate this and clarify for the generation, because you see, once our generation are clear about their national interests, they will defend it. You don't have to tell them anything. They will be clear. But right now, you have not clarified for them as parents what the national interests of Kenya are.
Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Just the final one.
Boys, there is a question that has not been answered.
It's still continuing.
Okay. It
could be
was
another one?
by Mariam Abdallah, and she said, what constitutes national interest? How do we link to Article 10?
Basically, that's what he was to do.
And to recommend in terms of debt recovery, and to link it with the question by Vincent, who's talking about how the opposition can also help, or lack of an opposition can help in debt recovery. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, quickly. Everyone has this, huh? Fine, if you have it, then what we've done is, you can see from page 9, I'll be very fast because of time. Page 9, we begin with A, which is our overarching national interest, and then B, our core national interests. And then under B, you have 1, which I mentioned, safeguarding the sanctity of life, human rights, and the dignity of the citizens. 2, safeguarding and enhancing economic sovereignty, prosperity, and social advancement of the citizens and the nation. Then you go to 3, safeguarding the security of the people and the nation. 4, safeguarding the livelihoods, the quality of life, and a decent social welfare, sustainable management of our natural resources, promotion of the rule of law, accountable and democratic governance. Sorry, this one is supposed to be 7. 7 is promoting devolution, accountable delivery of services to the citizens at community level. Co-interest 8, which is written as 7, that's a mistake. Safeguarding our nationhood, cultural heritage and history. Now, there's one thing I would like to say. As Mr. Okara mentioned, this is a conversation just like we're discussing UTU. These things are, you can't separate them. You cannot say you have UTU when you don't value your environment and your natural resources. You cannot say you have UTU when you don't value your culture, cultural heritage and history. You can't say you're UTU when you don't value the sanctity of human life. This is a debate. We are saying, go sit down, look at these things, read them deeply, like she was raising an issue about values, and figure out, is there something else? Is there something else that we think it's so important, so paramount, a priority, that it should be a national interest, apart from the ones that we have listed here as neat? Yeah? We are organizing forums, we'll be organizing forums early next year, and also media debates about this, leading towards a session or paper on the national interest. By that time, we need views, we need debates. Hold forums at your level. As you discuss, as you do civic education, ask the communities, what do they think should be Kenya's national interest? They'll give you very valuable views. Now check whether those are in tandem with what is here, or is there something missing? Yeah? Now what we are saying is this: what is already here, nothing should be removed, but should be defended. Yeah? What is already defined as a national interest, in here, we are saying should be defended. You can only add, but you can't remove. Because to remove, you really have to have a very good reason. Now I'll ask my colleague, as I sit down, please put that image of Wazes under forest. Is the ICT guy still there? I'm Amanda. Is he there? Yes. Okay. That image of Wazes under forest, as I sit down. He's at the back. Got it?
Have you got it? Inatafutwa?
Inatafutwa.
Okay.
Okay, pata.
The inclusion.
Just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Just I was looking at her as we were waiting.
They're looking at Jane.
As we were waiting.
Who is that? Jane?
Yeah, this one. I think
she's
from
Jane.
She's a government.
No, Jane, UNDP.
Yes. In my view, now that's my view.
Oh, okay. Looking, okay, sorry.
This debate, to be meaningful, has to be held in each of the 1,450 wards of the Republic of Kenya. It cannot be. You see, there's a difference between education, like you said, and public participation. The purpose of this education is to facilitate effective public participation. So this comes first. Then in public participation it makes sense. And it has to be, in my view, on each of the 1,450 constituencies. Right now we are holding it just in Nairobi.
Thank you. That's Sylvia, Dr. Sylvia, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. And by the way, the challenges we are getting, it's not, you're realizing this is a conversation that is just beginning. Even the document you're having is just published to generate debate. But as it is generating debate, the advantage, those who are involved in it as of now, is that they have been there involved even at the time when the Constitution was being sought. Those conversations across the country and why it is important to package them the way they have been packaged. So we are saying that even if you still feel there's something excluded, there's a window through which it will still be brought in. And I think Ambassador had mentioned the fact that the moment Kenyans build consensus that indeed these are our national interests, then with that we'll now be able to say, can we now have a holistic policy framework that cements all this so that nobody can tinker with it? And so that when it flows and we look at our statutes or legislations, are they in tandem with the national interests? And then we look at how we do the budget. Is the budget in line with the national interest? In that case, any of you here would just be okay to be president. Because if you deviate, then the national interest will hold you to account. And any time you want to go and serve your nation as an ambassador or wherever, in whichever capacity, then when you are taken to parliament to be vetted, you are not being vetted on the basis of affiliation to which political party. It is on your understanding and the way you have stood firm looking at the national interest. Are we together? Yes. Thank you. So I was just giving that as the photo was being beamed. Is it there already? Or, oh, you didn't get it. Is it something you can talk about and we conclude it? And by the way, inclusion. You know, Jane mentioned this and Miriam, Article 10 on the national values and principles of governance. And I'm very happy that, you know, this, when you are with the younger brother of yours, like Ambassador here, he's the last born of my mom, by the way, so don't worry. When you're with a younger brother like him, you become bold, because when you say these national values and principles of governance, therein, the issues of inclusivity is paramount. Non-discrimination is all these standards. And if you see why core interest number 6 is very critical. How do we safeguard and become so much aligned to the rule of law, the governance standards that are set in our constitution? If you'll be going against that Article 10, then you'll not be aligned in that way. That's how we are framing it. But we are subjecting this, we are opening it up for further discussions. And let me tell you, this conversation began, and indeed, I think NIT has had even sessions with some parliamentarians, particularly the Committee on Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee. So it is a conversation which is on, and I don't know whether to say this, but I know there's been a preemptive action. There's been a preemptive action by the government already. They are thinking in wealth fund somewhere. Yes, so, and we must be very careful, because part of the material we submitted to them included how do we safeguard and ensure that we secure this national interest, the creation, the establishment of a genuine and a true national sovereign wealth fund, not what they're creating to launder funds as a slush fund. Thank you. I think with that you say time is up, because the photo and whatever was to be screened is not there.
It's not
so
there, yes.
Allow us then to bow out. No, we said we needed to do the final thing. Super and team. Is it still ideal? Yes, please, the NIT people, NIT members who are still here.
Okay.
I know a number of them have already left. We wanted to take a common photo just here.
That is very much in order
so
as the NIT team make their way to the
NIT,
stage. Let's give them a round of applause, please. I think we are missing one more panelist. Ambassador, please, Boaz, Mr. Wori. You tell us, wapande juu ama washuke chini? Okay, sawa, haya. So, one nice line. NIT, there's no gender balance in it. There are no female NIT members. Helen, please. Inclusivity. Jameni. Well, Jamaneni. Helen is there for gender balance, and because this is her event, she's everywhere. All right.
Something you should have mentioned, there's intergenerational dialogue going on.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are doing handover.
No, that is fantastic. No, need to pass the mantle and impact knowledge, and I think it's been a very insightful session. Thank you so much. All right, another round of applause, please, for the NEET team. This is your handbook to go with. Please read, internalize, pass it on to somebody who needs it. And let's keep the message going in terms of, yes, let's keep the message going. So we've come to the end of day one. Ladies and gentlemen, how was it? How was day one? Was it good? Was it great? Kwa mtaa wanasemaje, ilikuwa bien? Ilikuwa bien? In a slap. And then for those who are on TikTok, clock it. Please, this ambassador teaching you the Gen Z language. Clock it. Yes. Top shotter. It was a good one. So thank you guys. You've been an amazing crowd. We really appreciate you. Tomorrow is going to be very, very impactful in terms of what we're going to go through. We will have IEBC here. We cannot talk about civic education without having IEBC. We have invited the CEO, Mr. Hussein Marjan, to attend tomorrow's session, and we are really excited to have it. As a moderator, when I went through the program, I challenged Uraia team, have a booth to register voters. If IBC is going to come here, let's put our, not our money where our mouth is, but kusema na kutenda, let's tell them, don't only come and give us very nice speeches. Sisi ni watu wa kusema na kutenda, bring a booth here, let us register voters. If there's anybody who's not registered, not only in this room, but in this building, they will have that opportunity tomorrow. So tomorrow we start at 8 a.m. Please be here on time. You can see there's a lot of valuable sessions that are going to